In this video, I'll be sharing with you a requested tutorial on how to cut this stylish asymmetric dress with gathers, and this dress is from House of Naya on Instagram. So if you haven't yet subscribed, please go ahead and hit on the subscribe button. So to start, I'll be drafting out my pattern on this pattern paper, and I'll be using it as the full length of the dress. Here is the pattern I'm using, and I'm going to use this full length of this pattern paper as my full length of the dress. So let's say the full length of the dress is 60. Let's say the full length of this pattern paper is 60. So here is my shoulder to bust, which is 9 inches, shoulder to under bust, which is 12 inches, shoulder to waistline, which is also 17 inches. So after marking that, I'm going to start by taking my measurement. I'll mark my shoulder divided by 2. Now I'll come down by 1 inch here. And from that point, I'm going to connect my shoulder loop. Now I'll go ahead to find my chest line, which is my bust circumference divided by 6 plus 1.5 inches, which gave me 7 inches. I'll draw out a straight line there. Now I'll mark back what I have on the shoulder, which is my shoulder divided by 2. And after that, I'm going to go ahead to place my ruler and draw out a straight line. After I'm done marking that, I'll just go ahead to divide this, what I have there, into 2, come out by ½ inch. So from here now, I'll also mark my bust circumference divided by 4. My bust is 33 divided by 4. I have 8.3 inches, and I'll connect. So this is what I have. The next step I'll take is to insert my measurement. So now I'm going to go ahead to mark my bust circumference divided by 4. My bust is 33 divided by 4. I have 8.3, which leaves me here, and I'll add 1 inch for this, or 1.5. You don't really need much allowance. You're making this dress as a ready-to-wear dress. You can even add ½ inch and leave it out later. Now, at the under bust, I'll mark my under bust circumference divided by 4, which is 28 divided by 4. I have 7 inches. Now, I'll also add my sewing allowance. So here, my waist and my under bust is the same. I'll mark that. So what I'll just do is just to come down by 4 inches after my pattern, and I'll connect. So what I'll also do here is to go ahead to mark my hip circumference divided by 4 and add like my sewing allowance. This will serve as a guide to draw out the asymmetric hemline of this pattern. So I'll just go ahead and connect this and also connect to this part. So after connecting, for the neckline of the dress, you can use any measurement of your choice. So you can place your tape and measure where you want it to stop. So let's say I'm using 7.5 inches. So from here, I'm going to also come up by 1.5 from this point, or I'll take it up a bit by 2 inches. So what I'll do is I'll just go ahead to connect. So it's not really giving me what I want. I'll just extend it up a bit this way to give me the neckline I want. So if I measure what I have from here to here, I have about 3.5 inches. So this is what I have here. Now to draw out the side of this dress, what I'll do is you come down by how deep you want this asymmetric hemline here. So I'm using about 3 inches to, or 3.5 inches. So from my waistline, I'll just go up a bit by 0.3 inches, and I will now go ahead to connect this all the way to the lower part of my pattern. So when I'm marking here, I'll come in a bit in form of like a block, so that I can shape here out. That is, when I'm shaping the upper part, it will be easier for me to shape here out. Now I'll just go ahead to connect this. So now to get the length of the dress, what you do for the gathered area is measure what you have from here to here, and then that is your shoulder to waist. Then minus it from the full length. Let's say the shoulder to waist I have is 60 inches or 67. Let's say I'm using 67 inches. If I minus 17 inches from it, what I will have left is 50 inches. So the gathered area now will be 50 inches, and you need about 3 yards of fabric for you to run the gathered area. Now you're going to gather that part all to this side. The only thing is that when you add the gathered fabric to this side, here might be a bit longer. So after making the dress, you can just slant or cut out or trim out the lower part, which is a bit pointy on your pattern, and then fold it back for it to align. So the next step is to cut this out. Thing you need to know is from the measurement you have from here to here, which is the remaining part. So I have about roughly 3.7 inches. I'll just call it 4 inches so that there won't be too tight on my shoulder. So I'll measure from here to the chest line, which is the back measurement for the strap of the dress. So for the strap of this dress now, for my dress, the measurement I have here plus the measurement I have here, which is 7 inches plus 4, will give me 11. So I'll add like half inch for joining allowance, or you can just leave that half inch because you'll be piping it all the way from the armhole to the end. So I'll just use a pattern to also illustrate that. Now I'll just go ahead to cut this out. And if I cut it out, I'll also open it up for you to see. So this is what I have for the front part of my dress. So if you leave this dress this way, you might have little gaping on your pattern. So you can just go ahead and blend out a little dart here. Like blend it out so that you don't have gaping. If you cut this way and place on your body, you will notice that you have gaping. So all I'll do is I'll just come in a bit by my nipple to nipple point here, and I'll add a little tightening to it. I'll mark 0.3 here and 0.3 here, which I will blend in this way. So when I want to cut out, I'll blend this out. I'll also blend this out on the other side of my pattern paper. With that way, you will tighten the upper part of your pattern before going ahead to place your pattern and cut it out. If not, you will notice that this place might be a bit loose for the neckline of your dress. Now let's say we are cutting out the back. If you want to cut out the back, all you have to do is just go ahead to fold off from your chest line area. That is, just fold your chest line area this way and place this on your pattern and cut it out. Then add a zipper at the front, which is about 1 inch, 1.5 inches for this dress. So now let's say that we want to like pipe the sleeve of this dress. So I'll just cut out a little fabric to explain to you how to pipe this area. So it's actually a requested video and I was asked to like explain how to do this. So the first part you want to the first thing you want to do is cut your fabric on fold, like in form of a bias. You can use 1 inch on fold or 1.5 inches on fold, depending on the design what you want to attach here. So now you are going to place this about ½ inch and follow this neckline that you have here, then sew it with ½ inch. After that, you're now going to go ahead to fold this back at the back, and from here you will now top stitch on it from the front, going all the way to the back part of the pattern. So after doing that, this will now be on top of the dress. So another thing you need to know is also when you're attaching the sleeve of this dress. So remember when we measured the front part of the sleeve, we had like 4 inches at the front, roughly 4 inches, and for the back we have 7 inches. So I said that is what we are going to use for the strap or the sleeve of this dress. Now you want to also get the measurements you have here, your armhole. So from this measurement now, is about 5 inches. So that 5 inches, you add it, that's 11 inches. So 5 inches plus 11 inches will give you 16 inches. That is from the front now. Here, you pipe it just the same way I showed you to pipe here, but you have to pipe the front part of your pattern first and also the back part of your pattern first. You have to pipe it separately first before the upper part, before the armhole area. That will now be the part that will cover up the joining you have here. So what we have here is about 5 inches. So this 5 inches, now add that 4 inches we got here plus the 7 inches. So that 4 inches plus 7 inches is 11 inches, plus this 5 will give me 16 inches. That is what you have at the, from here to the back of the dress for the sleeve is about 16 inches. So also, you know that that sleeve extends to the back of the dress, right? So when you're cutting out your pattern, you want to mark where, for the back, where the strap will start, which is on the armhole line of your pattern. So what you also do now, you now measure what you have left, which is 2 inches, right? So this 2 inches now, you add it to that 16 inches you have, which is already 18 inches. But let me refresh. So this 5 inches now that we have here, you add it, the front measurement that we took out, like from your shoulder slope to here, is about 5 inches. Sorry, it's about 4 inches. That will give me 9 inches. So from the shoulder to the back is an extra 7 inches, which you will add to it. That is 5 inches plus 7 inches. Sorry, 5 inches here plus 4 inches will give me 9 inches. So you now add it to that 7, and also the back, this back 2 inches extra we measured. So that is how you now get the strap that will go from the front part of your armhole to the sleeve, to the back of the sleeve, and the back part of the armhole of this dress.